Okay, I think I figured it out. All right, I finally figured this out. I am so sorry. So, yes, hi. Hopefully you guys can see and hear me now. If you can, if you're in the room, just say that you can because that would be very helpful for me. But I was talking about, I'm just going to start all over again because the good thing is this will go up on my channel when we're done. So if you weren't able to be live because I didn't give you guys a lot of, if you weren't able to be here when I was live because I didn't give you guys like a lot of notice, then you can watch it later, which is so super cool. So anyway, I just wanted to talk to you first about like what's been going on with me, what's been going on with you guys before I just start talking about like a TV show, just because everything is so super weird right now. Plus, well, I haven't been on here in a really long time, and it has been because like I've been super busy and because of the work that I used to have. Hi, I see a lot of people in the room. Hi, Akia, Marissa, Daniel, Ian. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I really missed you guys, and I feel like I come on here and do the same speech like every few months, and I don't want to do that anymore, but you know. So I will start with saying I know I haven't been here forever, and there's so much to talk about, and I have missed you guys, and I think about you guys a lot, and I'm like, I have to come back on here. So I thought I would just come back on here just to like talk to you first before being like, oh, let's talk about this show because it's just such a weird time right now. But I think, yes, we should start talking about shows again because, well, what really else is there to do? So basically what's been going on with me is that I was working all the time. So, you know, I know that you make time for what you want to make time for. And I didn't really make time for YouTube. And it wasn't because I didn't want to be on here. Like I really did. I was just thinking that I was going to have a really hard time like committing to watching a show every week and then committing to getting on here and doing a video. And I was actually working during the times that I used to come on here and be live. So I worked for a school. I was doing that the whole school year. Plus I was tutoring 2 kids directly after school. And I was just absolutely dead by the time that I got home. So I did watch some shows, you know, during that time, but not a whole lot of stuff, and it wasn't like to the point where I could watch a bunch of shows and be doing stuff on here every week. But now I don't work anymore because the school's closed. This is the first week we haven't had school. I have no idea if we're going to go back to school. I'm thinking probably not for the rest of the school year. I don't know how many of you have been affected as far as your work, if you are working or if you go to school. I don't know if anybody is still doing that anymore. I know a few jobs are still operating, but pretty much everything has been shut down here. I live in the U.S., if you didn't know, and I live in Kentucky, and yesterday they made a bunch more closings, but pretty much like gyms are closed, hair salons, nail salons, all the schools, tons of stores. Basically, you can go to the grocery store and like a drugstore, like a pharmacy. But that's about it. And I really like to work out. I can't go to the gym anymore. It's crazy because I live in a townhouse and we have a gym here, like that's open all the time. You just use your key, you know, like your key that they give you when you whatever start living here, you know, like it's just a key. You could come anytime. You could go like at 3 a.m. Okay. They have shut that down just because they want people to be distanced. So it's like, I totally understand that though. I get why we're doing this. I get why everything is closed, but I think, you know, I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, it's a harder time for people that have like the virus, and obviously people that are older, people that have compromised immune systems who are like very scared about getting the virus. And so that is the main concern. Not that I can't go to the gym or I can't go to work or whatever, but it's just a hard time, you know, for all you guys. So Jay Ivy says that she's a high school special education teacher in South Carolina and you're closed through March 31st, but you'll probably be closed longer. So we were supposed to go back to school on April 6th, but like from what everyone's been saying, that's not happening. It was supposed to be a 3-week break. I feel like no, that we're never going back. I don't know, like, will anything be back to normal by the summer, by the fall? Like, I have no idea. I see some more people in the room. Ingrid and Wet Flea and Fort Walton Beach Girl. Yes, hello. Thank you guys so much for being here. So, also with all of this going on, I had like a bunch of stuff going on in my life before coronavirus, before any of this. In December, I went to the last place that I traveled, because you guys know I travel a lot. I went to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, which was very wonderful. I had a really, really great time. As soon as I came back, I started feeling a little bit strange, like on the flight home, and I thought I probably just had like jet lag, or I was just, I don't know, I just felt kind of weird. And then the next day I felt even weirder, and it turned out I had the flu, which I've never had the flu before. I didn't have a flu shot. I had like flu B, and I was like out for a whole week, like could barely get out of bed. It's terrible. Probably some of you guys have had it this year or last year. It was really bad. In addition to that, my dad had a routine surgery same month, and found out that he had a very rare form of cancer. All of this happening at the very same time that I had the flu, and I just got back from Brazil, and I had to leave work because I had the flu, so I wasn't able to do anything. I had to cancel all kinds of things. It was right before Christmas. So he is in a situation where he has a compromised immune system now. He started treatments in January. So he is someone who is at risk for catching coronavirus, which is super, super scary. My grandmother is just turned 92 on Sunday, and I wasn't able to go see her, even though I normally would have, because I don't know, like, I feel fine, but we just don't know, like, do I have it? I have no idea, but I can't risk, like, giving that to someone. So, I'm going to read some of your comments, and then we'll talk a little bit more, because I've just been talking. Hi, DJ. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Hi, Esther. Hi, Renee, who is talking to us from DC. Courtney says you went to get groceries. It felt odd with restaurants in the mall being closed. Definitely was weird. Yes. So restaurants also closed here during this week. You can still, some of them have closed down until like things get better. Some of them have, just continued to be like on Postmates, DoorDash, Uber Eats. And then others are like just started a delivery service themselves, or you can just go there and pick it up. Like they'll bring it to your car. You definitely can't go inside the restaurant. Jay Ivy says you have spring break from April 6th to the 13th. So if you do go back after a few weeks, then it would be April 14th, but probably not. So yes, like everyone else, the grocery stores here are weird. They haven't had toilet paper at the one I normally go to in like, I don't know, 3 weeks now. I had just bought like a large package of it, just not because of this, just because I like just usually buy that and then I don't have to buy it for a while. So I still have that, but you know, they have no like cleaning supplies, hand sanitizer, hand soap, meat. The bread has been gone for like a week now. So it's totally insane. Marissa, hi. Yeah, my grandmother is actually doing really, really well. It was super sad to not be able to go see her because not everyone makes it to 92 years old. And I definitely wanted to be there, but it was just this past Sunday and I just could not go because I don't know if I have coronavirus. I'm not thinking that I do, but you know, we just don't know. And I could not put her at risk. I would never be able to forgive myself if she ended up getting it. And I would always think like, wow, I was probably the one who gave it to her, you know? So I just can't do that. And that's so sad. And I'm sure you guys are like in similar situations. If you have a friend or relative who has a compromised immune system, or people in your life who are older that you would like to see. This to me is the weirdest thing that I think no one ever expected anything like this to happen. It's definitely like, it makes me think of like a TV show that I would probably come on here and do videos about, except that we're living it and it's far worse than I could have ever. I mean, really, I know it's just so weird that sometimes I'm like I wake up in the morning, like I woke up today and I was like, it's nothing feels right. Is this real? Is this really happening? You know? Courtney sent me a photo, I think. I'm trying to see if I can look at it. Did you send me a photo, Courtney? It like said there was like an image, but then I couldn't get it to work. Marissa says, happy birthday to my grandma. You don't go out in public anymore because you're sick and you hibernate most of the winter just to protect others and yourself. Yeah, so that sucks too. So like maybe you guys have, a compromised immune system, or you're in a situation where you can't afford to, like no one I mean, here's the thing. There are actually people that are younger that have, I hate to say this, but like have died. Maybe they did have like underlying issues they didn't know, or people that have been pretty sick with it that are not in those categories, So we have to be like so careful because we just don't know, and it keeps changing and it could be mutating. I don't want to give out like false information. I'm just kind of speculating about some of that. Don't take my word for everything, but I'm just saying like you can't take my word about being careful and like, just staying inside. And what have you guys been doing? Like, have you been watching a bunch of shows, or what have you guys been doing since we've been inside? One thing that we haven't progressed to here are the like lockdowns where you can only, I know like in France and Italy and other places, you can only go by yourself places. You can only like go to the grocery and the pharmacy. You have to have a paper with you. Like I know like I watch a guy on YouTube in France and he was like, he has to have like a paper when he goes out to walk his dog, or like if he wants to like run around the neighborhood, like a paper saying like this is the area that he lives in. So it is pretty serious, and I feel like that's coming here. They've been talking about like the National Guard coming here to patrol people and make sure people are in their right areas, and that sounds like a movie, and I just still can't believe this is happening, and I'm kind of dreading that part because it's bad enough as it is. So as far as shows, oh my gosh, like seems like the last thing to talk about. But you know, that's what are people doing? People have to be at home and like watching shows and stuff, right? Because what else do we have to do? Danielle is catching up on Netflix. Hi, Alex from the UK. I think it's cool that I know a lot of people watch me from other countries, which is so cool because you guys know how much I love traveling, and it like breaks my heart so much that I have no idea like when I'm going to be able to travel again. I was supposed to go to Paris in May. I feel like that's definitely not happening. My stuff hasn't been canceled yet, but and then I'm supposed to go to Costa Rica in June. I feel like that's probably not happening either. So far, the airlines and stuff haven't canceled anything, but I'm thinking that's not happening. So I just have to like think back on the good times I had in the past, I guess. Marissa says the CDC and WHO are changing the recommendations every few days, so I don't think there's too much caution. Yeah, I totally agree with you. DJ says, speaking of TV shows, am I getting caught up on anything? You recently watched October Faction on Netflix. It's interesting. Okay, I haven't even heard of that, but thank you, because I just get on Netflix sometimes and I just start scrolling through all of the millions of stuff on there, and I'm like, I have no idea like what to watch. So that's good to know. Courtney is watching Disney movies with her 2 little girls, trying to keep them entertained as well. It's a struggle. Last night I was just reminded, I was like thinking about, this is so bizarre, but I was thinking like about 50 Shades of Grey, like how I really liked the first 2 movies, but I never saw the third. And so I was online thinking like it was probably on Netflix or probably on like HBO or something, and it wasn't. But I found it on Amazon Prime, so I rented it. But I also only watched a little bit of it, and it's probably going to expire before I can watch the rest of it today. So I'll probably have to rent it again. But I do like that series, so no one probably cares about that. But anyway, Alex says in the UK, you have to stay at least 2 meters away from each other while you're outside. It's getting like Bird Box crazy. I'm sure most of you have seen Bird Box, which was thankfully crazier than what's going on now. I don't think I can take much more crazy, so I'm hoping we don't get to Bird Box level. That's like... no, that's way too much. Renee has been taking long walks for fresh air, trying not to eat a lot. So yes, all of that, because hello, like obviously if you're a person who goes to the gym and stuff like that, you can't do that anymore in I think most places. So I used to run like all the time outside, like in the neighborhoods, and I just stopped doing that maybe a year ago. And now this week, since this has been my first week without any work, I've started doing that again, and really, I just like encourage all of you guys, if you can get out, like do something, just like walk or go on a hike or run or whatever, like some type of movement that is outside, because it's not just because like, oh, it's going to make you, you know, not gain a bunch of weight because you're on quarantine or whatever, but it's also like mentally so good for you. And I just feel better, and like I'll get outside and I'll like see people. I'll see like little kids on bikes, and I'll see like people walking around and people walking their dogs. And that sounds so silly because that happens like every day, but it's so good to see like people just being people and living their lives and for us to get fresh air and stuff. So Marissa says, you love 50 Shades. Your dad says it's porn. And you said, wow, you said you clearly haven't seen porn. I mean, I know a lot of people feel like it pushes the envelope or whatever. It is a little much. I could see why some people wouldn't want to see it. Anyway, I've like read that comment before I read it in my head, so I'm not sure I should have read that out loud, but it's okay. I think we have the children filter on because I don't think they allow kids on here anymore. Okay, show says social isolation is absolutely necessary. Read, play indoor games with your family members, binge watch your favorite shows. Yeah, and I think I'm going to do like a lot of reorganizing and cleaning, and like, you know, there's like, you know, if you have like either you're full-time in school or a full-time job, like there's just stuff that gets left behind. Like my closet looks insane. Like I have a bunch of clothes that I don't never wear. Like I need to eventually like donate them whenever I can do that. You know, I have just everything is kind of needs to be deep cleaned and all of that stuff. And that's just stuff I haven't started on any of that yet, because it's like, I want to save some stuff. I don't want to like spend one day doing absolutely everything and then have like nothing to do. So, I'm trying to space out the different things that I can do to make the days go by. But I also think it's really important to have a routine. And that's what I was thinking about when I woke up this morning. And like part of my routine is to do some type of working out every day. And that's what I encourage you guys to do too. Even if it's in your house, like watching a YouTube video, like a little workout that you can do, you know? And I just got like a notification that school was canceled in California till the end of the school year. And also I heard yesterday that school was canceled in Kansas till the end of the year. So I feel like that is coming for all of us, unfortunately, at least here in America and probably other places. Danielle says you love the 50 Shades books. You might listen to them on Audible. Yeah, that's another thing. I used to do that too, is to listen to books on Audible. I really love that. And I'm glad you mentioned that because I haven't thought about that recently, but that is another thing that we can do if you guys are into that thing. Alex says schools and exams just got canceled here, which was in the UK, right? So yeah, so I mean, it's happening everywhere. It seems to be getting worse as far as the crackdowns on like what we can't do. Again, I support that. I'm not talking bad about it. I'm just trying to think of, you know, ways for you guys, for all of us to think of things to do. And I know all of you guys love to watch shows, so that's one thing. Let's talk a little bit about that. So for those of you who watch Westworld, it came back on Sunday. I think I was just in a like, my mind has kind of been distracted lately with all of the different things going on with coronavirus. So I tried to watch it. It's very different from the previous 2 seasons. I felt very bored with it, and I will say, like, a full disclosure, that I did not have my mind like totally tuned into it. I was kind of thinking about other things while I was watching it, so I don't want to say don't watch it, or I don't want to be like, oh, it wasn't very good. I will just say for myself, I wasn't that into it, which is upsetting because I need things to watch. And the fact that it's new is exciting. I don't know if any of you guys watched it, but I wasn't crazy about it. I don't have a lot of motivation to watch the next episode, but what did you guys think if you saw it? Also, one thing that's exciting for me is a show, I don't know how many of you watch, but I did a couple of videos about it before. Insecure with Issa Rae is coming back, I think, in 3 weeks. That's one of my very favorite shows, and it was actually, this season was delayed because she did like a movie and she's gotten like super, super famous. So it is coming back in like 3 weeks, which is great because literally that's like one of my very favorite shows, which is kind of weird if you guys have watched me because there are no killers, there's no mystery. I just love it. Like, I really like her. Speaking of her, I watched the movie Little when I was on my way to Rio. It stars her and there's another really famous person in it. It was so good, so funny. So if you can find that movie Little, it's totally a comedy. It's like, you know, fun to watch during these times. There's no killers or anything in that. That was so good. I loved it so much. As Renee is reminding me, How to Get Away with Murder is coming back in April. So yeah, like I was actually kind of stressed about that because this is the very, very end of How to Get Away with Murder, like the end. And I knew I was going to be super busy with work and everything. And I was nervous because I've been following that show on here like pretty much since it started, and I felt bad for you guys because I didn't want to like not do anything on it because I really didn't give it as much attention as I should have the first half of this last season. Now I'm feeling like I'm probably going to be here, nothing else to do. So looks like I'm going to be able to do quite a bit on it, which is that makes me super happy because this final season has been really good. If you aren't caught up, I would suggest that. If you're someone who used to watch the show, if you're someone who's never watched the show, you've missed a lot of episodes, but now is the time, right, that we have time to do stuff like that. So I'm very excited for the rest of How to Get Away with Murder, although very sad because then I know we're done with that forever, but at least that gives us something to look forward to. Alex says that Chris Martin, who was in Coldplay, right, did a concert from home type thing yesterday to pass the time. That's very, very cool of him. Mr. Francie, hi. Yes, Francois from Australia. Thank you so much for checking in. I appreciate that. Colin's asking me if I'm watching Katie Keene. No. Is that Lucy Hale's show? No, I haven't watched that. I'm not always into like, is that kind of like Marvel? Is that like the Marvel realm or like superheroes and stuff? I haven't really ever gotten into that, so that's why I haven't watched that. I don't know if I'd like it. I might. Like I do need to start watching some new shows. I don't know. I want to come back to YouTube. I want to start doing stuff a lot on here. At the same time, I think I've talked to you guys before. I'm not always like the type of person that wants to like when people will be like, "Oh, can you review this show or this show or this show?" and they're like a show that's been on for 5 or 6 years, or a show that's like, no, I'd like to do a show that's like currently on if possible, and not something that I would have to, oh, hi, the Dizzy Spell. That was very nice of you. Thank you so much. Best wishes to you too. Like, I don't want to have to like watch. I mean, the one time I did that, I really thought I was going to lose my mind, is when I watched all of the old Twin Peaks so I could be prepared for the new Twin Peaks. And it's a lot. So I don't really want to do that again. I mean, I'm glad I did that because it was interesting to watch all the old Twin Peaks and everything. And then the new Twin Peaks. But, so as far as like, what shows am I going to do? I don't know. Like, I don't know what to do. I've got to figure that out. I definitely am going to do How to Get Away with Murder. I don't know if I'm going to do Westworld. I'm just being honest, because you guys know, like, when I come on here and I'm talking, in the past, I have come on here weekly and talked about shows that I didn't really care about. And then you can tell because I'm just not into it and it's just not exciting. And I don't want to like do a live chat every week or videos or whatever about something I'm not into and don't care about, because it's just not exciting for anybody. I saw like a meme the other day saying like, this is like that we're currently living in the worst Black Mirror episode ever. And I'm like, oh my God, yeah, that's so true. Because I love Black Mirror. I love that show, as you guys know. And I don't like living in Black Mirror though, but definitely this is very Black Mirror-like. Okay, I'm going to read some more comments. Alex says there's an amazing show you need to watch called Prodigal Son. It stars Jesus or Jesus. I guess Jesus from The Walking Dead, because I quit watching The Walking Dead. It's like a TV version of Silence of the Lambs. Okay, so this is that on Netflix? Alex is asking if Katie Keene is a spinoff of Riverdale. I did quit watching Riverdale. Sometimes I get that question. I really stopped liking it, so I don't know. Marissa is asking me if I consider doing a Netflix party. It's a Chrome extension and you can post the link and anyone who has Netflix can join in and chat and watch together. That would be super fun. I kind of heard about that, but I didn't know how those were working. Yeah. Do you think people would get in there? Like, would I be able to invite certain people to the party? The only thing that always makes me so nervous about Netflix shows and Amazon Prime is because, for those of you who've watched me for a while, like every single time I would review a Netflix show on here, like any type of show where someone can watch the whole season at once, people would be like, oh, guess what? Bob is the killer. And that would be like I would be doing a video on episode 1 and they would be like, Bob is the killer and the whole cast is dead at the end. And I'm like, you just destroyed this for me. Some more stuff that I have watched since I've talked to you last. I watched Fleabag on Amazon Prime, which is also nothing about killers. I thought that was really cute. Apparently it was only 2 seasons and like it's done. Like there's just not going to be any more of it, which is kind of weird because it didn't end in a way where it could like, for me it didn't end in a way where it was like, oh, this is over. But like I Googled to find out when the 3rd season was coming and apparently like there is no 3rd season. I watched Modern Love, which I know was like really late to that party. Modern Love was on Amazon Prime. Have you guys seen that? I thought some of the episodes were really, really good. Like Anne Hathaway was in an episode which I thought she was just like amazing. Like her acting was so good. And then some of the episodes I found to be a little weird and I didn't really love those. So that's just some more ideas for you guys. I would definitely suggest both of those shows, even though I wasn't like in love with all of Modern Love. Most of the episodes I found were really good. And it doesn't involve killers either. So I don't always watch about killers. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Lever says, as an introvert, it doesn't affect your life that much. I know, this is like an introvert's dream. And I think this is like my dog's dream as well. Both my dogs, because they love that I'm home ever. Alex says a lot of British shows only do a couple of seasons. Yes, Fleabag is a British show, if you weren't aware. But it was like, it's kind of a cute show. It's pretty funny. I think like if you just have some time to kill, why am I saying this? If you have some time to kill, because most of us do, then that would be something that you would enjoy. And then I'm excited because like a lot of stuff that I have watched, like I really love Barry on HBO. I think that's going to come back pretty soon. I know there's a lot of stuff that's coming back, and it, you know, shows have always been a source of happiness for me. So I'm super excited that we are going to have some shows that are coming back to entertain us. So what about you guys? Is there any kind of shows that you're looking forward to? Colin's asking me if I would watch Batwoman. Probably not. Because, like, again, I'm not really into superheroes. Along those lines, I decided to watch a bunch of the Oscar-nominated movies, like, right before the Oscars. I watched Joker. Don't hate me. I didn't really like that. I'm sorry. I think that Joaquin is a really, really great actor, and I think he was super dedicated in that role and, like, every role that he does. But I just didn't really like the movie. On the other hand, I watched Parasite. I wasn't sure what to think. I wasn't super excited about reading a bunch of subtitles. And when it started, I was like, I don't really know if I can sit here and read these subtitles. But Parasite was definitely right up my alley. It was so much like a lot of the shows that I cover on here. If you like those types of shows where they're kind of, it has a big twist in it, plus it's twisted, and you're trying to figure out, there's no way that I think if you don't know what happens or what the twist is, I kind of figured out what I figured out something about one of the characters, and that I kind of had my eye on one of the characters, and I kind of knew something was going to go on with that person, but the twist, the actual big twist in this movie is impossible to figure out. I don't think there'd be any way someone could figure it out if they didn't have some kind of spoiler or have some kind of previous knowledge. But I highly recommend Parasite. I thought it was so good. And after a little bit, you're not going to be like caught up in the fact that you're reading the subtitles, if that's something that, you know, you think might bother you, because you just want to find out like what's going on. I loved it a lot. And because of that, I watched some of the movies that the director also directed. I can't think of the name of them now. One I watched like a few weeks ago was about, it was like they were on a train that, like the world had ended, coincidentally, and they were on a train going through like, the world was like turned into ice, and they were like stuck on a train, and it was like about the class system. I thought it was just okay. I thought it had like great potential, but I didn't end up loving it. I can't think of the name of that movie. Yeah, DJ says the moment you realize your lifestyle is called quarantine. Yeah, I know. There's a meme going around that says that. So like some people don't feel that much different. Maybe you have like a work from home job that's still going or something like that, or you do school from home. So maybe your schedule isn't affected that much. I think for me, one of the harder things is just knowing that, do I need to go out every single day and do stuff? No, but when I'm told I cannot do that, and I know I can't, and I know it might get to the point where I can only go just a little, like a couple miles, you know, then I start thinking about all the places I need to go and want to go and have to be at because I can't be there. But I think a lot of people are like that. Like once you're told don't do something, then you're dying to do like whatever that is. Alex says that Sex Education is a great, funny British show on Netflix. I have definitely seen that on there. And I think a lot of you guys have like told me before that I should watch that. So that's something maybe I should get into. I feel like that's been on for a minute. So would I be like totally lost, or like are there a lot of seasons of it? I don't know. But yeah, so going forward, I'm trying to figure out like what I want to do. I definitely have the time now to be on here and to do live chats with you guys. And obviously we can't, I don't want to wait until How to Get Away with Murder comes back. I want to start doing this like right away. So, I mean, I guess even if I come on here and just check in with you just to chat about whatever, maybe that's something you would like, maybe not, let me know. But I just want to come back to YouTube and start doing that again. It's very exciting for me to talk to you guys. It's fun. I feel like I'm connecting with people when it's like at a time where I'm not being able to connect that much in person, at least. DJ says, absolutely know that you're being told you can't go anywhere, you want to go everywhere, right? That's just like human nature. Alex says the sucky thing is that a lot of the shows are halting filming until this crap is over. Now, that is what I've also been thinking about, how not only, the good thing is the things that have already been filmed and the things that we're planning on coming out as far as TV shows are going to come on out, but like stuff that was in production right now and stuff that, was supposed to come out in the future, that's going to get affected too because people cannot be together to film things. And that's very sad because that means that's going to affect our future TV watching. Super sad. So this was a question that Jay Ivy's asking me that a few of you sent to me on Twitter and were curious about. So there is going to be a new Scream film. This will be Scream 5. It's been quite a while since the last one. I kind of read over like the premise and everything. I'll let you guys like Google that if you want to, if you're not sure about like what it's about. Anyway, I don't know, like I really did like the last Scream. This one, so far, I don't think there's any news about like who's going to be in it. Like I would love to have some of the original cast from Scream 1, which is always to me the best one. So I'm hesitant to say. I just feel like they've tried to do so much with Scream with like the MTV show and then the VH1 show. And sometimes I feel like they try so hard that it just doesn't work anymore. Like I thought that the MTV show was super good. I didn't like the VH1 show, didn't even finish it. So although I love the fact that they're doing a 5th movie, I'm not sure. I need to know like who's going to be in the cast and what are they doing with it. I would just love for them to make it some kind of reunion thing with season and tie it into like Scream 1 somehow. Because if it's just like a totally separate movie and it's not super connected to anything, like, I don't know. I definitely will see it, but I'm not, like, as excited if it's, like, random people and stuff like that. I don't know. Colin says there's 3 weeks to How to Get Away with Murder, which is so exciting. Thank you for that news. Alex is asking if I ever finished Slasher. I'm a huge fan of Slasher. I've seen all of the seasons. When that comes out, I'm definitely right into it and ready to watch that within a week or something. I don't know if there's going to be another Slasher. I do follow like all the people, the director and the writer and all that on Twitter. So I'm always like looking at what they're saying to see if a new one's coming out. But I haven't heard them talk about it at all. But that would make me so happy. Usually they come out every 1 to 2 years. So it seems like it should come back pretty soon. But I haven't heard anything, so I don't know. But I love Slasher. If you're watching this and you've never seen any of the Slashers, they're pretty much standalone. I highly recommend that if you're into horror movies, like super hardcore horror, but it's really good. Okay, how do I say your name? Is it Levier says that you think that some shows are going to get a much bigger audience. Yeah, so, I've even heard in some countries where the internet has like slowed down or things have crashed, like Hulu or Netflix or whatever, because so many people are on it at once. You'd love a season of Slasher based on the quarantine. Yeah, that would be so cool. So who knows? I'm definitely thinking, of course, there's going to be a lot of shows and movies to come in the future that will deal with what we've been dealing with now. I feel like this is going to be going on for months, unfortunately. And I also think like when, we need to make the most of every day as much as we can. And, that means something different to every person, but I don't want to just like waste every day away because we don't have an end date. We don't know when things are going to get back to normal. Will things ever be normal like we had them? I don't know. But I'm encouraged to see that things are getting a little bit more normal in China. So there's some hope for me there. Hopefully the reports that I've heard from there are accurate, but that gives me some hope like that. One day in other countries like the United States, things can slowly get back to normal and things can reopen and we can go back to school and jobs and everything like that. But in the meantime, life is still precious and we still have no guarantees, regardless if we never catch coronavirus or if we never leave our houses. There's just no guarantees. So like I want to make the most of like every day that we have. I want to be productive in some way every day. This is the time that we can either be like reading and enhancing our minds or watching things that make us become more knowledgeable or, working out, and we're doing all of these things, trying to eat healthier, you know what I mean? And I hope that all of you guys are, and if you haven't thought about it, I hope all of you guys are going to take that approach, that we're just not wasting the days away. It's super fun to sit and watch shows, but I hope that that's not what your whole life becomes, like watching Netflix all day and stuff like that. I want to do some of that, but I also want to do other things. So hopefully I can encourage you to do the same, and maybe all of you guys were going to do that anyway, but I could just see the potential for people to just be like on their couch or like in their bed watching shows all day. And I love shows, and obviously you guys do too, because that's why you're here. But I hope that we can find like a greater purpose for ourselves during this time. Okay, hair. I can just call you hair like the bunny. Okay, sounds good. Alex says in the UK, even soaps are reducing episodes so they can last longer since filming has halted. Yeah, so it's a super, super crazy and like unsure time. That's all I can say. But, I just want to make the most of, try to make the most of it, because I think we're going to be here a while. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to come back on here, because it's something I thought about like all the time. Like, I really miss YouTube. I really have so much fun just sitting here doing this. We're not even talking about like a specific show, but just talking to you guys, because a lot of you guys I've known for a really long time. And I miss that so much, and I'm excited to have that as part of my life again. So DJ says, you're happy that I'm back. You found my channel during American Horror Story Cult, and whatever you want to do in the future, you'll support the best you can. You did miss the recaps, though. Thank you so much. Yes, I mean, a lot of you guys that are talking to me, I recognize your names from like, years back. So that is so, so cool. I just truly, truly, truly appreciate the support. And sometimes when I'm gone for a long time, then I come on to do a live chat, I'm like, is anyone going to show up? I remember when I first started doing YouTube, I first started doing live chat, sometimes there'd be like 2 people in the room, and I would just like keep talking, because I knew I had to get used to just talking even when nobody was talking back. So the crazy thing is, like, even though I have been away at some point for like a couple of months or something, people still will come to the, shows, the chats like this. So that like means so, so much to me, that some people have not given up on me, even though most people probably should have. But I just also think that, with life, things change. And even though I definitely set out with YouTube to do it like all the time and never take breaks and be on here like multiple times a week, things changed in my life where it just wasn't possible. And I've also seen other people on YouTube either quit completely or just scale back throughout the years. So I never did get like mad at those people, because either they told us what was going on in their lives, or we don't really know. And I'm sure there was a good reason for it. But I'm happy to be back here and talking to you guys, and thank you guys so much for coming today. I think I'm just going to let you go for today. I will try, today, let me say not try. I will update on Twitter and update on the community tab here, because everyone doesn't look at Twitter or doesn't have Twitter, to let you know like what I'm going to do. Right now, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. Maybe for now, I'll just like come on here every other day or something to just talk, and because I know different people will be able to come at different times. But I will give you like the information a couple hours in advance, at least on the community tab and on Twitter, to let you know like when you can come listen to me and talk with me. But Alex said, you just heard that the weddings here have been limited to a maximum of 5 people. I don't even know if weddings are going on here. I think probably not. And like if they are, it's probably just the 2 people getting married. It's very, very sad for people who had scheduled weddings and scheduled honeymoons are having to cancel. I feel like people who were supposed to graduate this year and have prom, which was probably just a thing in the US, like are not going to be able to do any of that. It's super sad. I just feel terrible about that for people. It's just such a sad time, And as Marissa is saying, can't even have funerals. I think the funerals have stopped here, or I don't know exactly what they're doing. They're just not like having them where they can have a bunch of people at them. So anyway, but I just want to let you guys know that I've been thinking about all of you, and I hope all of you are able to stay safe and healthy. I wish you the very, very best. Thank you so much for coming here to talk to me today. This has been like the highlight of my day. Thank you so much. And hopefully we can have more of these talks. Not hopefully, but we will have more of these talks. Hopefully you can come to them, as the weeks go on. So bye, guys.